So I'm going to share with you a little bit about, and I'm going to just mute everybody while I do this just to make sure. Okay, I'm going to share a little bit about, one second. Yeah, I'm going to share a bit about my story because I feel like this program for me is an evolution of my business and my practice. So I want to share with you about my story because I went through a transformative process in creating my own business. And I really think that, I think creating a business in general is just a super empowering experience. I think it's transformative. I think it's life-changing. I think it's very empowering for a lot of reasons. I love hearing from you all that shared a bit tonight before we started recording about your experiences working with kids and having families and just like all of the richness of your life. I think that's, to me, the most inspiring part of creating a business is like everything that you've already been through in your life, all of the ups, all of the downs, all of the, all of the experiences that you come to when you're ready to really create and birth a business that's like yours. It is really different than, working for somebody else or just having a job because it's a creative project. And it comes from such a deep sense of personal agency and personal power. And before I got on tonight, I just want to show you guys this card. And I love pulling cards for everything that I do. So I want to show you guys the card I pulled for our session tonight, which is this incredible tiger, this Siberian tiger, and it says personal power. I'm just going to read to you about this because I feel like this is really one of the motivating factors for creating your own business, especially spiritual business. So the Siberian tiger has chosen to visit you today to encourage you to express your deepest feelings, embracing your darkest personal experience and transforming it into positive thought and action. Some of your darkest things, some of the darkest things you've been through in your life can help you create a really powerful and incredible business. It's a transformative, transmutative process. Once we decide if a particular experience is good or bad, we then make a conscious decision about what to do next, identifying our method of emotional expression. We either speak up, we become neutral, we don't speak up at all. Tigers are predators and, we don't speak up at all, leave us feeling helpless, placing us in a victim mindset. Tigers are predators and understand the need for secrecy, perseverance, and patience before committing to their prey. Standing strong and powerful is essential to their survival. In the same way, experiencing darkness helps us build strength and resilience. Right now, the tiger asks you to relinquish your victimhood and take responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings. Embrace your hardships with love and acceptance. Use them as a source for personal motivation. Take responsibility for your own actions and the part you have played in your current circumstances. By doing so, you will begin to reclaim your personal power. And the affirmation for this card is, I am now willing and able to stand in my own power. Each experience enhances my love, strength, and self-worth. Okay, that's just a little blurb about the tiger. But the reason I share this and the reason I think I pulled this card is because my initial creation of my business, it really came out of a really hard time for me. So I had been working in mental health for, several years, maybe 7, 8 years, something like that. And I had been working mostly in community mental health in the Boston area, doing therapy. At the time I had learned Reiki and I was using Reiki in my therapy sessions, but I was still working in settings, in the mental health system. And I had, when I started my business, which was 5 years ago, and 5 years ago in the beginning of February, my son was just about to turn a year old. He was like 11 months old, and my daughter was about 2. So no, 2.5, something like that. They're really close in age. So basically I had 2 toddlers at home. And I have to say, after my son, I was going through such a hard postpartum experience because he didn't sleep and I basically hadn't slept for like 2 to 3 years at this point. So I was really like struggling, and I would go to work and I would help clients. I mean, I worked part-time at this point, but I would help clients, and I really felt like there has to be more. Like there has to be more for me. There has to be more for my personal power, my personal agency. I kind of went through a whole deconstructive experience where I felt like all of a sudden I had become a mom, and my self-worth and my self-value, like in our society, it actually became less than it was when I was just like a full-time working person, you know? And that really, I don't know if you guys experienced that at all, but I felt like that was such a shock to me, shock to my system. I was like, oh my gosh, like mothers are not valued. This is shocking to me. I don't know why I was shocked by that. I think I had to experience it. But when I experienced that, which was a really hard realization, and the reason I share this, and I don't always talk that much about my personal experiences, but the reason I share this is because out of that pain, which it really was a painful realization, and there was a lot of dark nights around it, I created something incredible for myself. And not just for myself, but for a lot of other people too. I used that to create a business that supported me, to pull myself into basically, you know, from businesses that were great businesses, you know, they were helping people, but they were not supporting me. They were not supporting me financially. They were not really supporting me emotionally or creatively. I'm a very creative person. I think we're all here tonight, like super creative people. Maybe, you know, we have tons of ideas and we want to do incredible things and we're enthusiastic about what we want to do, but there's like a lot of red tape in some of the systems we go into that really just make it these barriers in the way of like our personal power and our personal creativity. I'm not knocking it. I'm not trying to say like that's bad and it's good to do this. I'm just talking about my personal experience and how it helped me, because I needed that agency. I needed that empowerment. And I also really needed to create something outside of the system that supported women, that supported mothers, that supported spiritual women in a way that I felt like I couldn't do in the system. So that's where my business came out of. And I remember thinking, I'm crazy to do this. My son's not even a year old, 2.5. I'm like, this is a terrible time to do this. But it was like everything in my body was like, do this, get your business going. You can do this. So I started thinking about it. I always knew I wanted to have my own practice, but I didn't really, you know, like, you know, some of you were saying tonight, it's not really about not having the skills. Like I knew how to be a therapist. I had been already a therapist for so long. You know, I knew, you know, how to schedule. I knew how to do all the stuff. I knew the practicals of, you know, basically running my own version of a private practice in a group setting. But it was more getting from point A to point B. And what I saw was, okay, I don't want to do things the way that they're doing them at the health centers I'm you know, working in. I don't see my clients the way that they see clients. I see things differently. The work I'm doing is different. The creative projects I want to do are really different. So how can I get from point A to point B, right? And, you know, I talked to a lot of different people, talked to people that were starting their private practices. And I even, at the time, like I said, I was having a postpartum experience myself. So I was seeing a therapist to help with that. And I remember saying to her, you know, I'm ready to start a private practice. And I was like, and I don't want to take insurance for my practice. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to take insurance because for me, the taking insurance felt like it just felt like a negative influence, like just working with the insurance companies. I just didn't want that energy in my practice. I was like, I don't want to do that. And I remember in my session, she was like, oh, there's no way that you can start like a full-time business and not take insurance. And I was like, oh, okay. And it felt like, you know, here I had this like passion and this idea. And I went home and I really thought about it. And I was like, that's not my stuff. That was her stuff. And I can do that. And I did. I created a business that doesn't take insurance. But the way that I did that was I got support from somebody who had done that, not from somebody who had, kind of stuck with the status quo, but I actually got support from somebody who created a spiritual business like the one, not exactly the same, but similar in energy, similar in, intention, similar in like kind of the newness of it, like the kind of the fresh, creative process, the collaboration, the community aspect, and really kind of doing it outside of like your traditional systems. I got support from somebody who helped me create that process, and I could not have done that without her support. And the reason I couldn't have done it without her support, well, I could have, but it probably would have taken me like 5 years just to do that. And it really only took me 3 months to do that. Now, it was kind of a fast and furious process because as soon as I decided to start this business, I just kind of, the universe, as soon as I made the decision, the universe started responding. It was like, oh, here's somebody reaching out to you to talk to you about this. Oh, here's somebody reaching out to you to ask if you want a space. It was like all of a sudden, the universe starts responding when we make a commitment to it. And it's a really an incredible alchemical process. And so the other part of it for me was clearing some of the conditioning that I had as someone who was working in the mental health system for a long time, and just kind of releasing some of the like beliefs and things that were kind of holding me back around money, things that were holding me back around what I thought was possible. Like I said about like the the insurance piece, things that were holding me back around what I could offer, even like kind of coming out of my shell about what I dreamed about offering. And I needed help and I needed support to really be able to clarify what it is that I was creating as well. So in 3 months, basically, I was able to kind of transfer from working in a community mental health center, transfer to completely working on my own, in my own space. Now, initially I was subletting a space, but still like it was my own space. I was doing my own work there. Within 3 months, I went from being, fully paneled to insurance in this community health center to no panels in my private practice, no insurance taking. And that was a 3-month process. And what I think was the most important part of that kind of incredible transformation, which I thought for sure was going to take a year. I was like, oh, this is going to take a year. It did not. I was like, yeah, this is going to take, I'll start renting 1 day a week. It's going to take a really long time to build this. It really didn't. And that was because of the energy that I was putting into it little by little. So I rented the space for 1 day, that day filled with clients. I opened the space for another day and I cut back at the clinic again another day, more clients. Again, I did it for, I think it was like initially it was part-time, it's 3 days. Again, cut back there. So each time it would fill and I was like, okay, time to add another day. And so every month I deleted like a day at the clinic and I added a day at the private practice and it transferred. So it's possible to do this more quickly than you even think because that energy will respond pretty vibrantly. So let's see, the most important part was to be able to be guided, to be supported by somebody with the right credentials. And when I say credentials, I mean someone who was a really good coach, who was a really good counselor, and also someone who had the experience of creating a similar type of spiritual business like I was mentioning. So I'll just talk for a few minutes about this kind of concept of the spiritual business versus the regular business. I know we were touching on it a little bit, but a spiritual business, it's really different because it's really a connected business. It's essentially, it's like I was saying, kind of co-created with spirit. So for me, and coming out of the Reiki practice, which is really my foundational practice, Reiki has always been a really foundational aspect of my business. When I was first building the the business, I started teaching Reiki once a month to get the money to rent my office space, to put down like that first sum of money, right? And Reiki supported me. Reiki supported me to create this business. So I feel very strongly that when we commit to really a business of service, and service meaning like not self-sacrifice, right? But service, like a source, a creative, co-creative experience with something higher than ourselves, something more powerful, something that's guiding us to create these businesses, that's guiding us to even write, like, you know, to write things, to teach things, stuff like that. I feel that it makes the business very different. It's very much more alive than a traditional business. So for me, creating and running my business is a spiritual practice. There's no separation for me between my business and my spiritual practice. I don't go, oh, you know, I have to do admin today, and oh, that's so mundane, right? It's actually admin has a spiritual. I mean, I can some days, yeah, I don't want to do it, right? And there's some things that I'm not great at that I outsource, and you'll be meeting in the program some of the people that I outsource things to, because we don't have to do everything in our businesses. We don't have to be the sole, you know, the Jack and Jill of all trades for every aspect of our business. But the things that I do, I do as part of my spiritual practice. My business is a source of my spiritual growth. Like the things that happen in my business, because my business is a spiritual business and spiritual practice, it's not separate or adjacent to my life or my spiritual development. You know, we know, like I was talking about, it's not always easy, and spiritual and personal growth can be really challenging. But these are personal obstacles that we go through to learn from, and our spiritual business will teach us those obstacles as well. I mean, teach us those lessons as well. So the other thing about spiritual business and it being a connected business is it's really connected to humanity. I think my business is really connected to the heart of humanity as a whole, and it's also really connected to nature. So it's connected to connected business. So I'm going to talk really quickly about the kind of nuts and bolts. I'm going to pull up some slides, get some pictures for you guys. Let's see. Where are we? Here we go. So some of you are in here. Oh no, just Amy, I think. We did a really fun photo shoot in Hingham last fall, where for spiritual entrepreneurs that were ready to get some headshots, and it was really fun. It was outside, so I'm using some of the incredible photos that just light up my life when I look at them. So that's the program. So this program is 8 weeks long. It is on Zoom. It's 2 hours every week, starting, it's on Thursdays, starting April 6th through, I think it's May 25th. Yeah, from 6:30 to 8:30. So there will be live lectures. It's a live course. It's not something that you want to, like, I mean, if you need to miss a course or two, they'll all be recorded, but it's something you really want to show up for to get the full experience. To be live, to be with the group, to get the group coaching, to ask the questions, to have that whole dynamic experience, to get to know the other people in the cohort. And that's really how you're going to get the most out of the experience. And I always tell people that, because I've had sometimes in the past people be like, well, it's just recorded, so can I just watch it? I'm like, no, you have to come. It's really, really more, you're just going to get so much more out of it. You need to come. So this program, you know, is for people like yourself, people that are looking, you know, either already a wellness practitioner, a coach, a therapist, maybe a reader, a creative type of person who is ready to launch a full-time or part-time business. Now, this could also be for somebody who's going through like a re-evolution of their business. You know, I know what that's like. I'm going through that right now myself. And it's like starting another business. Even if you have the same business name, the same office and everything like that, the experience feels like that. So in a way, that's like starting a new business in itself, even if you've already been a business owner. The other thing about this program is you do have to be ready and willing to invest in yourself. And that's not just like financial investment. It's really committing the time and the energy and the work and the money, right? Because there is a financial investment to this program, but not just to this program. There's a financial investment to, moving money around to maybe rent a space or investing in insurance or putting money down on an LLC, right? Like you have to be ready to put your money where your mouth is on something. Now, that doesn't mean your business has to cost a ton. It doesn't mean you have to spend $10,000. It doesn't mean you have to, go for the most fancy website. It doesn't mean that at all. Like I started my business with $2,500. That's really not that much money. And that includes the business coaching that I was getting at the time, the spiritual business coaching. And it was like a month by month growing process, but I was like, that's it, I'm committing to this. And once I did, money started coming in from my Reiki classes, money started coming in from, right, like making the space for those clients to come in. The energy started coming in when I actually committed to that and I invested in myself. So there is, that is an important part of this process too. And also, if you're ready for a transformation, if you're ready for a big change, because this program is going to be a big change. And also building a business, creative, spiritual business is transformative. So those are sort of the nuts and bolts on who this program is for. Let's see. So you guys will all get a flyer, sort of like a program, a brochure about all this, and you might have already seen it, but there's basically 8 weeks that we're going to cover, lecture wise, group coaching wise, specific topics. And I'm not going to go through each one right now. You can look at this in the brochure, but they're all here and it's pretty comprehensive. And then in between the weeks, I'm going to give you guys homework to take some action steps. We're really going to be like moving into action, starting to manifest things. Okay. Now that doesn't mean, depending on your situation, that doesn't mean your whole business is going to be like up and running in 2 months, but you're going to make some major headway in this process. Like if you're, not planning on moving until when are you moving, Molly? Do you remember? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay, June.
Oh, well, that's actually perfect for you then. Yeah, because it's like right before you move. So to like launch you up. All right. So because I kind of feel like whoever takes this program is going to start making some major moves. Like you're not going to necessarily take this program and then in like a year or two start doing this stuff. It's like, no, you're going to start doing this stuff, getting it rolling during this program for sure, because you have the container, you have the motivation, you have the support, just to really get it built. So then when you get to Pittsburgh, you're already gonna have clients waiting for you. I'm not kidding, Molly. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Totally not joking. You'll see. Wow, what am I doing here? I'm getting too excited talking about Molly's business. See, this is me. All right, so this is your team. This is me, and I'm gonna be doing 5 weeks of the 8 weeks. So I'm kind of your main facilitator for this program. I think it's really, like I said, it's really, there's a huge psychological rite of passage that happens with this type of experience. And I'm really geared to help you guys go through that process. I've been through it myself. Like I said, I'm going through it again. I've been through different iterations of it. And it's never really unexciting. There's something really exciting about it. There's something I always learn about it. But I think some of the bigger issues around, getting the business built is having the right support, helping you overcome your limiting beliefs, which we all have. I know for me, I had a whole bunch of stuff that I had to kind of let go of and reflect on and process and decondition from to be able to create the business that I wanted to create. And also to help you really tap into, my big piece of it is really helping you tap into the creative process and putting together the action steps with the practical steps for actually moving you through and creating your business, really getting it going. So yeah, we're going to do a lot of great work together. And I'm just so excited because I'll tell you guys a little bit at the end. I have a special promo tonight for anybody who really knows, like, okay, I want to register for this. I'll tell you what the promo is, but it has to do with human design. My human design, which is a system that is similar to astrology, but it kind of gives you like an overview of, can show you like how best to work. It can tell you like really what you are supposed to do, like for a job. It can show you how best to market yourself. Like in terms of business, human design is really incredible. And so my human design shows that I'm supposed to be a spiritual business coach. Like it lights me up. It gets me so excited. Like it's what I'm made to do. Like I'm a healer and I love being a healer, but this is like what I'm actually supposed to be doing, guys. So it's like, I can't even, I'm lighting up this way that I have never lit up before. So I'm just so excited for it. To even just say that I'm doing it and having it on this page is just incredible. All right, so then we have this incredible woman who is going to come in and talk to you guys about business systems management, Britt Creetman. So Britt has been working with me for maybe 3 years. I've known her. She taught Reiki, or she took Reiki with me a long time ago, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. And she does all my website stuff. She helped me like revamp. I had a whole system in place that I had put together when I first started my business, where I had, you know, my email contacts in one place, and I had my booking in one place, my bookkeeping in another place, this, that. And Britt came in and she looked at my systems and she was like, Liz, we can get this all in one place for you. And you can look at it on an app on your phone. And I was like, I love you. Thank you. Please help me. Please help me figure this out. She's so practical. She works in the tech field. She's also a tarot reader, also a spiritual life coach and a Reiki practitioner. So she gets not just the business stuff, but also the woo-woo stuff, which is really, I think, again, important. Like when you're looking for someone to build your website or to help you explain how to build your website, you want to know that you're speaking the same language as that person, whether they're a tech person or whether they're a marketing person. You want to know, like, okay, these are my people. I can talk to them about the energy of the website. I can talk to them about the feel. I can, you know, they get me. So Britt is going to come in to talk about business systems management, systems like how you actually run your business, putting it together. She's going to do some stuff on money management and website development. She's a great website developer. She also works in, I forget what it's called, but like the whole user-friendly aspect of websites and making things so that not only is your website look good, but like how to make it function so that it's easier for you and your clients, just that user-friendly aspect of it. That's like her whole background. So she's going to come in. We have Tess Cruz, who I love and adore, who has taught with me before and is a dear friend of mine, who's going to come in and talk about diversity and inclusivity and accessibility in your spiritual business. So one thing that I've noticed in the spiritual business community is there's really not much out there about this. It's really important to be able to have accessibility for a diverse population and inclusivity in your practice. And so this is her specialty. She does this for corporate. She does this for cities and towns. She writes big programs, and she's just a really beautiful human being who brings a mindfulness piece to her teaching. So she's going to come in to talk about DEI, which is great. Okay. And then last but not least, we have Christine McDonough, who I know some of you have met, I think, either at a retreat or at the Holy Fire Reiki training at the Marriott. So Christine comes from physical fitness originally, but she also has a expertise in marketing, and she works in the marketing field. And so her whole thing is about digital marketing. And she had such great insight and information from that experience working in digital marketing to be able to offer you guys in terms of that, which I learn from her all the time because she's just studying this stuff and helping clients with this stuff all the time. So really being able to harness your social media in the right ways. It's like there's so much that we don't know. We think, okay, if we put a lot of time and energy into social media, that's going to equal connecting with the right clients. But she knows how to strategize it. So like you're doing your social media at times that, and in ways that are going to help you just make it easier for yourself and help you set it up so that you're not like kind of spinning your wheels about it. Because again, there's a lot of information out there, but here's actually a real expert who's been doing that in the field. So that's our team. So there's 4 of us. I'm going to be doing the majority of the coaching, but then these incredible, also spiritual business owners, all of them are going to come in to share their specific expertise with you. All right, so quickly. So there is an early bird discount for this program. It goes until March 11th. And there's a code, it's on the website too, but it's $250 off the program. So the program itself, oh gosh, I didn't put it up here. So just let me just grab all that info to make sure I'm giving you guys the right info here. The program itself, the early bird price is $1,250. The program after the early bird price is $1,500. And so if you are like, yes, I want to do this, you know, definitely register by March 11th to get that discount. There's also a additional discount if you are a person of color, a Black person, an Indigenous person, or a single mother. So there's an additional incentive for you, additional support there for you, which also has an early bird expiration date also. So for that, if you register by the 11th of March, that comes down to the early bird special, $1,000. So you'll get the $500 off and $1,000. After that, it's $1,250. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to say, I was thinking about human design, and I was like, okay, so if anybody is like, that's it, I'm registering for this program this weekend. If you register for this program by Sunday, I'll give you free human design reading, an hour human design reading, because I love human design and I love giving readings, but also because I think it would be helpful for you to have that reading before doing this program, and it would be helpful for me because I could see like how you're meant to create your business, how you're meant to market yourself. There's a lot that I can see about your business style, your marketing style, and things like that in your design. So if you're interested in that and you're like, I just want to sign up anyway, you can sign up, you know, and get also the early bird discount and the human design reading. So the human design reading, I'm keeping that open through Sunday evening. So if you're really passionate and you're like, I want to get that reading, please sign up by then. The other thing to know is when you register for this program, there is an option on PayPal when you check out to pay this in over 2 months from when you register. So you can sign up, it's called PayPal Pay in 4, and it will divide your payment into 4 payments over an 8-week period. So you pay, you know, $500 if it's the, you know, I don't know, I'm horrible with math. This is why I have a calculator with me all the time, but you pay in 4 segments over the 8-week period, starting from when you register. So that might make it easier for people also. And so when you go to register in PayPal, you click on checkout through PayPal, and then it will give you the option to pay in 4. That's an option that you have. They run a soft credit check. If you've never done it before, they do run a soft credit check. It doesn't affect or impact your credit. It's not like pulling a credit report. It's a different thing, but they do that just to let you know. It doesn't do anything to your credit though. All right, so I'm going to, oh no, it's already 8:08. I'm gonna hop off and just stop sharing, and then I'll leave it's open to any questions that you guys have. You can ask questions, you can type the questions, whatever you feel. And I can stay on for another like 10 minutes for anybody who wants to ask questions. And if not, if you're ready to go, I really hope you consider doing this program. I think everybody here tonight would be really a great fit for this. Where you're at, if you want to talk, if you want to chat with me, please reach out. We can have a phone call. Yeah, I'm so excited about this program. It's just like lighting up this part of me that I didn't even think like life could get more exciting. And then it did, you know. It's just such an exciting time, and such an exciting time for everybody who's doing this work. I think we're going to see this month too, everything's moving. What is it? Pluto is, you know, we're coming out of Saturn, 15 years of Saturn or something. We're going into Pisces and Aquarius. It's going to be just like all about moving into this type of work and really working for the people and working in a more of a collective way, working in a different way, loosening up restrictions, loosening up this like isolation we've been going through. So I'm excited about where this year is going to take us for sure. And I hope to be on that ride with you guys. All right, so if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'll just stay on, or you can type them, or you can just hop off mute, hop on camera and ask.
So I have a question.
Yeah, Molly.
So I guess the thing I'm wondering is how much support in this type of setting is for like finding a direction, because
Yeah,
like I really don't even know what to focus on. I
yeah.
mean, I sort of have an idea, but it's because it's like what I'm currently studying, which is like a whole new modality.
Totally.
But I
So
don't know if that's gonna take me into a business. But
mhm.
you know what I mean? And so I have all these things I can integrate, but I don't really know what that looks like as a business. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm wondering if there's like support for that, or if I already need to kind of know before I get into that.
Well, here's the thing. When I started my business, I knew I wanted to do, you know, I knew that I just kind of wanted to start my business. And I saw that things would change, because when I started it, it was like these floodgates open, and I got like 10 years of information. It was like, you know, you're going to teach coaching, you're going to teach business, you're going to do groups, but none of it happened all at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can't do all that right now. That's crazy. So you're going to get a ton of information. You're probably right now starting to get, you know, even before this meeting tonight, you're already like, okay, I could do this, and I could do that, and I could do this, and I could do that. Write everything down, put it down, because wherever you start, the likelihood is, thank you so much, Amy. See you later. The likelihood is that you're going to probably end up doing a variety of things, and in a variety of ways, and combining things in ways like it's not necessarily going to look exactly the way that you think it's going to look, but it's more about you having the autonomy, and also the financial flow, like bringing in, you know, the business and keeping it going, and keeping the energy flowing, like getting the business aspect of it going. And like you can offer one aspect of your talents and skills in the beginning, or you could blend a couple of them, and that might change and evolve in like a year. And that's okay. Your business is not going to stay the same. Not in this field. Mm-hmm. If it does, it does, but not for you. Yeah. Does that make sense? I know I'm not giving you a clear answer of what your business is going to be, because the thing is going to change.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And like great. You can do your creative stuff too. And you can do, you know, there's like, it's sort of, I feel like a part of it is initially is responding to the signs from the universe too. Like initially to start the business, I was getting people being like, hey, Liz, when are you teaching Reiki 1? When are you teaching Reiki 2? And I was like, guess I better teach a class because I need to start doing my business, you know? And it was sort of like, I would get hints from the universe about what to offer that month or what, and I used to do things kind of month by month, you know, like, okay, I'm going to offer this right now. And then things grew and changed. And after, I think 2 years in the business doing my practice and teaching Reiki, that's when I started doing my my coaching training. I was like, now I'm ready to teach coaches how to be spiritual coaches. And I did that for 3 years. And now I'm ready to do the business piece. So it's sort of like, you know, evolves and changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for asking that.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are still going to do a lot of envisioning around this.
Okay.
Because that's important too. And that'll be part of the homework, and part of also what we do is like really sacred visioning on where to go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? Thanks, Molly.
I mean, I was like Molly too. I was like a little bit stuck. I'm like, do I have to have like more modalities besides my Reiki and the IT? Because I want to work on those others too, but baby steps.
You can continue to learn through your business. So I started my business, I did like therapy and Reiki. And then I learned human design and shamanism. And now I'm taking an astrology class. It's like you just continue to do your stuff, you know? And that's the great thing too, is like you can continue to bring in things, and you can absolutely start a practice from where you're at. Don't you read cards too? Are you a reader? Or no,
my mother was, but she was like a
reader.
natural reader. It was, it was natural. It was a natural. She didn't go to school. She was just natural. She was born with that. I'm sorry, my camera. She was born with that gift.
Yeah.
And she wanted to implement that on me, but I was like, I don't think I was born gifted with that. I couldn't. Mine's is just.
I think you're gonna learn that.
I want to.
And Molly's like, yeah, I think that's in your card. That's in your cards to learn.
Yes, I see that. Yeah. I see that, and that's something that I want to take after, like the tarot reading and even the sound bowls, all those to provide more, to give more, you know. But I was like, do I have to wait until I get there, or I can start with what I have?
No, because here's the other thing about having a practice. Like, you can start a practice. Your practice is going to keep growing. You're going to keep developing through your practice. That's the other thing, is you learn through your business. You learn through your clients. You learn through your sessions. And that's how you become more experienced as a practitioner. And you continue to, you know, take trainings and get support around certain modalities and things like that. So no, absolutely. I think you would definitely start doing Reiki sessions and IET. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and you have also not just the modalities, but also your experience as a business owner, as somebody who's worked with children and families, right? Like, all of that also informs. So when we're moving from like, okay, one field, right, like child education or childcare, and moving into another field, it's not like we're leaving behind all of those skills and all of the personal skills and the understanding around development. Like, even with if you're just working with adults, which I continue doing some like family stuff too, but even if you're doing like a adult session, a Reiki session, like that person's inner child might come up in that session. That's a big piece, right? And being able to really like walk somebody through that and all that. It's like we're bringing all the skills we have from our other fields into this. Does not get wasted, you know?
Yes, definitely. Because I do want to get started, because I remember I told you this when I was taking the Reiki. I'm working right now for a nonprofit organization but it's really affecting me. I know it can't, it takes up it's more than a full-time job.
It's not your soul work. It's not your soul work. Right?
No.
Your soul work is your soul work. It's like what you're here to do, what you're really here to do. And it calls you. It's like, it's not this, it's something else. You're gonna follow it.
Yeah, definitely. And today I was like, I'm still not even done with the training. After this, I gotta go in and do a report. And I'm like, it's just taking up too much. And this is not something I see myself doing long term.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, this is temporary, Anna, because you're gonna do your thing. And I'm trying to stay optimistic and positive as much as I can.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know how to start. And like I said, talking to someone that knows about business is fine, but they don't know the language, the spiritual language.
It's different. And it's different because the spiritual piece too makes having your business a spiritual practice too. And I'll talk a lot about that in the program, but like, you know, for example, when we shift or change, when our higher self is like, all right, like with me, one thing that's been happening, I'll just, you know, be very transparent. This year, it's like I've been doing one-on-one sessions for like 13 to 15 years, just like all the like client sessions. And even in this business, you know, doing one-on-one sessions is the focus, like one of the major focuses of my work. I do a lot of teaching too, but now this year, my higher self is like, that can't be a priority of yours anymore, your one-on-one sessions. And I was like, that's like my anxiety. It's like, I've been doing it for 15 years, you know, and my higher self is like, you mean you can't, you got to let that go. Like it might happen, but you draw on that anymore. And that's been throwing me for a loop because you think it's a small thing, right? Oh, I'll just shift from this to this, but it's just you go through so much in this process. And so being able to have that support from other people in those changes is really important. It's like kind of death and rebirth of ourselves. So yeah. Well, thank you so much, Anna, for coming. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you. Too.
I hope you guys both consider signing up. Please, again, like reach out to me. We can talk. Yeah, we can chat if you have any other questions.
Like
get the human design reading. Yeah, and get the human design. The early bird is March 11th, so you have some time before that. But if you want to get the human design reading, do it before Sunday. I'm giving you a little bonus for people because I think it's fun.
Before this Sunday.
Yeah, like before the end of Sunday. So by Sunday evening, like by the end of the weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Liz. And
bye,
Molly.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
So good to see you both.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Have a good night.